Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching and listening to a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And joining me, as always, are my co-hosts, Rebellious D and Trav. How you fellas doing today?
You caught me off guard again, bro.
Come on, Trav. I did it again?
Countdown. Got me.
Hey, man, sometimes, I just jump right into it, man.
Just jump right in. Dive in the deep end.
Look, I was looking at D and I was looking at our guests, and I saw that they were ready. And then I thought that you were ready, but you weren't ready. So I jumped the gun, man.
I'm ready now, though. I'm ready now.
He wanted to see what thumbs up I was going to throw. That's what he was looking at.
You never know what D. I swear, it's just like every time we do a video, you don't know what type of weapon D is going to use. And people, they want to know, like, just like how I want to know, because it's like sometimes it might be safe. It might just be a regular thumbs up. Sometimes it might be an arrow, or sometimes it might be a minigun. You just never know. Hey, D, relax, D, relax. You're
scaring my man.
I thought that was the cue.
I'm getting scared over here, man. Don't make me turn the lights on just yet, man. But joining us on today's episode is the very talented voice actress, Brianna Roberts. How you doing today, Brianna?
Hi, doing good.
Thank you for joining us here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. We appreciate you joining us today. And I just want to say you have an amazing smile, so thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Banks has an amazing smile, too, and he's just a man that appreciates a good smile.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
See, look at that smile right there on my man right there. That's right.
Smiles recognize smiles?
Well, you know what? Right. What All Might says is the strongest people have the biggest smile, so that's why I'm always smiling. So, come on, bro. The man that I have standing right here beside me right now.
Hey, we need to get you a little light for Rengoku, though, bro.
Bro, I know, man.
It's just not even fair. You got All Might hovering over my man like
All
he's
Might's all glistening and everything, and then Rengoku's just there. No, I know. Unfortunately, that's the only Rengoku that they had at Video Game Heaven. But hopefully, because of his popularity from the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie,
he can get a giant head like All Might.
Yeah, he'll get a giant head like and he deserves. Like, I mean, Trav, remember when we went to go see the movie? I said that Rengoku was the All Might of Demon Slayer. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see a giant head Rengoku.
A giant head Rengoku. I like that.
Yes. Hey, well, no, you haven't seen the dub, but in the dub of the movie, they made a joke about how every time Rengoku got big, Tanjiro was just like, "How did you grow so big?" But that wasn't in the sub. I think that was just something funny that they did.
No, that was definitely not in the sub.
Yeah. But before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, please make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. D?
Podcast also in the description. Check us out. Thank you.
Hey, you just ran through an also and a thank you.
Yeah, gotta throw that in.
Hey, Trav, I thought you was about to hit us up with the triple score, man.
Nah, bro, I ain't got nothing to say. This man, his dog hollering at me. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm trying to go outside for a walk.
He's sorry, guys. He's a giant baby. I'll be right back.
He's no giant baby. That's a man. I don't care what D says.
Yeah, he's a Great Dane, and he's 4 months old, and he's I believe he's close to 60 pounds already.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go put him on the missus. I'll be back.
Put him on the missus.
Yes,
that's right. I sure am.
We'll see when you get back, D. Yeah, I guess we can just hold on real quick for him to get back.
I know this man D threw us a curveball just now.
It was a curveball. This has never happened before.
Recording from home, dogs barking, it's all a new thing now.
I think it's the smile, man.
It is the smile.
He's double teamed right now by smiles. He didn't know what to do.
I always, if I'm recording a live session with Funimation or a studio, around 2:00 is when the postman comes by. And I know my dog hates the postman. So I always have to tell the director, like, okay, we're around mail time. So just be ready.
Yeah, the classic rivalry.
Yes.
Dog versus postman.
And I don't understand why. I never understood why dogs. I guess it's their uniform or the hat.
I don't know. And she'll hear it too because we live on a cul-de-sac. So she'll hear him going on the other side of the street. And so she's like, oh, so she goes over to the window and is waiting for him to come back around. And then she's So she's good deterrent for salesmen. There is that.
That's right.
Yes. It reminds me of what was that movie? C Spot Run. Was that
Spot Run? Hey, when he took out the man's the testicles.
Oh, God.
Left him with the metal things. He was running, and they was making all the noise.
They was clanking.
Yeah,
talk about it. So what's crazy is
a throwback.
I had brought up the Yogi Bear movie today when I was talking with my coworker.
I haven't talked about Yogi Bear in a long time.
Well, I don't even know how we even got on the subject. We were just talking about Hanna-Barbera stuff, and then I had mentioned Yogi Bear, and then I had asked him if he had ever seen the Yogi Bear live action movie, and he was just like, I didn't know that there was a Yogi Bear live action movie.
That's
and
right, there was.
Yeah, that just showed. I mean, it came out 2013, 20 something.
No, it was before that for sure, dude.
But I mean, it was all right. I mean,
I'm gonna look at it. No, it was not all right. It was
all right.
I thought you was taking care of that, D.
Loki said, "Feed me."
It's 2010.
No,
2010. Okay, but it's just crazy. We were just looking up Yogi Bear stuff. And he was just like, I didn't know Boo Boo was Yogi Bear's son. I was just like, no, he's not Yogi Bear's son.
Really?
That's his little brother.
That's when?
That's his little brother. He's not.
Oh, I was gonna say, there's no way.
But the thing is, Boo Boo is a cub, but he has a grown man voice in him. He's a cub. Like,
so?
What do you mean, so?
Bro, this was like the 80s, dude.
No, bro, that was like the.
Hey, and this is pretty much our podcast.
Yeah,
it's us just randomly talking about stuff.
I love it.
This is us snowballing. This is what we do. Even if I was here,
for a good conversation.
It does. D, you never know where it goes.
D, we waited for you because this was a first for Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and we didn't know where to go without you.
What do you mean?
I'm
y'all just started rambling,
writing songs about you.
Yeah, and
left us in the wind. Left us in the cold. Damn, Jon Snow, you don't like guys right there.
But no, we can go ahead and get into it. All right, so Brianna, something that we do with all of our guests that we have here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks is we ask, what is their origin story? So let all of our listeners and viewers know, who is Brianna Roberts? What is your origin story?
Well, I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, so that's the true origins there. It took a hot minute to learn how to not talk in a Texas accent, so there's that. I feel like it slips out sometimes, especially if I'm talking to somebody who has a Southern accent. It's like all of a sudden I just slip into it, and there it is. There's
hey.
Oh, it's so funny.
I moved up to the Dallas area in 2009, I think. I've been doing stage acting since I could walk, it seems like. I've always been doing theater, especially love musicals. That was my first love, and that's kind of what got me into the acting scene. And of course, just started doing community theaters and things like that, and trained with a theater company in Houston called Center Stage Theatrical School. Have done theater. Oh my gosh, I've done so many shows. I love it. I went to college for film and TV and broadcast. Let me start over. Film and TV production and broadcast. There we go. Let's get it the words right.
It's a mouthful.
Yes. And so I graduated and I was working as a producer. I wasn't doing any voice acting yet. And like, any small studio, you want to save a buck everywhere you can. And we were doing this original animation project, and my boss was like, Brianna, you're an actor, right? Why don't you just hop in the booth and be this character? I was like, okay. So I started recording that character. I had a lot of fun. I had never really even thought about or considered voice acting because I was so entrenched in the stage side of things. But I just fell in love with it. It was so much fun. And I loved that I could play any character regardless of what I looked like. I am 5'11", so that nixes you for a lot of the main roles in stage productions because I'm usually taller than a lot of men. And so I loved that I could play anything, and it didn't matter that I was tall. I could be a granny, I could be a little boy, I could be a mom, I could be a warrior. It was so awesome. So I started my journey there, started taking classes and workshops. I've taken an innumerable amount of classes and workshops, and just kind of been chipping away at my place in the industry for the last, I guess, 8 years. I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's
wood chipper.
Yes. So that's nutshell story.
Now that's awesome. It's
that's
like
origin.
Yeah, it is a nice origin story, man. And one of the things that I love about our podcast is we give people the opportunity to come up here, and especially like with voice actors, we give people the opportunity to learn who that person is behind the mic. So again, I just want to say, thank you for joining us. And I hope that everybody who listens to this episode, that they'll find out stuff about you that they possibly didn't know, or, they'll find something out about you and they'll reach out to you. Like we've had a guest up here, Brian Overa, and he is into food and to cooking and stuff like that. So it's just like, oh, wow, I didn't know that he loved doing that stuff. So like, what are some of your hobbies that you like to do when you're not voice acting?
So I love fish. In a different life, I might have been a marine biologist.
That's a Jojo reference.
I have a giant 60-gallon fish tank of freshwater fish. I love it so much. It's like one of my favorite hobbies. I've always really loved animals. Again, growing up in Houston, Texas, we had horses. So, of course, I had my horses. Got to live that stereotype, right? But yeah, really, I love to reading. I do a lot of reading. I love fantasy novels. Nice. I feel like that's mostly it. My fish, my dog. Oh, I love my dog. I have a dog, and she's
yeah. What type of dog do you have?
What? Yeah.
So she's a mix. She's like part Schnauzer, part Jack Russell Terrier, part wire hair Dachshund, and part Shetland Sheepdog. So she a hot mess.
Yes, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, we love dogs here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Well, mine is huge and in the way.
Yeah, I mean, you heard D's dog. Like Loki is a part of our podcast because he makes an appearance almost every episode now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever brought him to the screen, like on an actual episode, or if it was.
I think for Rivera. Okay, I think I showed him to Reness.
I wasn't sure if that was like on camera or if it was or if it made it to the episode. I didn't know.
He didn't know. Cleared up for him. I want to hear more about this fish tank though, because I know at one point I had like your regular fish tank, right? That can only fit a couple of fish, and that was a pain in the ass to handle. So I can't imagine. What is it? 60 gallons? You said?
Yeah, 60 gallons.
Yeah. Ooh. How many fish are in there?
Right now, I think I have 16 fish, I believe.
Wow. 16 fish. Now, are you into like exotic fish or is this like your standard run-of-the-mill stuff you can just get at PetSmart?
No, most of them you can't get at PetSmart. I've got clown loaches, rainbow fish. I've got some cichlids in there. I've got an electric blue acara, a green phantom pleco. So I've got, they're not like the super fancy, but they're not the PetSmart fish. They're like right in the middle.
And I'm just gonna nod my head and pretend like I know these fish. I'm like,
there's some fan out there that's watching right now. They're like, oh, I know what that is. Oh my gosh. We're kindred.
I can't remember the guy's name from Deuce Bigalow, Mel Gigolo.
Oh yeah, I
remember he had the giant fish tank.
Yeah, that was a lionfish, right?
Oh, that would be saltwater.
Yeah, and I think didn't it end up going in the blender or something? They killed the fish.
Yeah, the blind girl. Yeah,
the blind girl. Yeah,
she pushed the button and she was just like,
so long.
Yeah, hey, that's a classic though.
That's a classic.
That's a classic. It is. But something I wanted to bring up was that you were in Astra Lost in Space, and that was something that was something. Yeah, me and Trav, we loved that show when we had Christopher Dontrell Piper up here, and he voiced Ogre on Astra Lost in Space. Yeah, and just. I want to say like this anime, it was interesting because every episode, it always wanted you to, wanting more and the whole mystery. I mean, like the anime came out in 2018. So I feel like we can talk about like spoilers and stuff like that. Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah.
Is everybody here okay with that? I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's a couple years old.
If you're listening, if you're watching and you haven't seen it yet, pause, fast forward.
Go to this time code.
But I mean, like, just finding out that all of the kids on the show were clones and they were sent to space because it's like the parents, they wanted to get rid of them and they wanted to make new clones and all this stuff. Like, the show, it was amazing. It was only 11 episodes, I believe.
12. Yeah, I think it was 12.
Okay, it was
12.
The
first were almost a movie. They were like an hour long episodes. So
yeah, so how was it working on that show? Because I mean, you were Aries, I believe that was her name, right? Aries.
Yeah, I was the mom. Yeah. I was the mom of
and
Aries.
They were simul-dubbing the series too
at the same time.
On top of that,
so how was it working on that?
Oh, it was amazing. The story is so good. So it's always extra fun when you get to be on a show that the story is so well written and that it comes to full completion and satisfaction at the end. Caitlin Glass was the director, and Caitlin is just amazing.
Yes.
So working with her was really cool. Of course, being in the show, Megan Shipman, who played Aries, who was my daughter. I love Megan. There are so many wonderful people in the show. Danny Chambers, she is my best friend in real life, so it was really cool to get to be in a show with her. We kind of started our voice acting journey together around the same time, so it's really cool when our careers get to diverge.
And it's weird, we've been getting that a lot lately here on the podcast, where it's like coincidentally we end up getting like best friends
or roommates
coming on the show, or roommates or something.
Roommates, besties.
Yep.
Yeah, like I feel like that is amazing when it's somebody who you're close with, best friend, somebody that you've known and you've come up together. And when you work together on projects, like with me, because I'm a professional wrestler, and there were times where it's like, somebody who I started with in the business, and whenever we get to share the ring together, it's always an amazing feeling, because it's like, we're friends outside of the ring, but in the ring, we're friends too. And we getting to work together and do cool stuff. And I always feel like when you work with your friends, like, friends tell the best stories in a way, if that makes any sense.
And you can hit them harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be more yourself, I guess.
You can. And it's interesting too, because, when you record, you're by yourself. You're not usually interacting with anybody. So it's just their voice that you're hearing on the other side if they recorded before you. And for me, when I am playing opposite somebody that I know or have a personal relationship with, it does make it so much easier as the character to feel like I'm having more of a connection and a feeling between my character and their character. I guess that's just human nature.
Yeah. Comfort level. It's all comfort. Yep. So
something I wanted to bring up was, on a lot of animes that you've been on, you played the mother.
And Animom.
the Animom. And it's crazy, because it's just like, you played the mother in like so many animes. Like, I don't know. Oh, like how does it feel always playing the mom in these shows?
I love it. There's the one side of it, because when it's your job, it's like, hey, work is work. I'll do whatever you want.
Right.
I'll squawk like a bird, or I'll be a mom. But I really enjoy getting to play the different moms. It's kind of fun when you play a lot of the same type of characters, because it kind of gives you a chance to really work on making them unique and different from each other, even though they're all a mom, and moms only get seen so much typically in an anime, but really creating their character and making them be different, even if they still sound like me, my voice. Yeah, they're so different. Like, you can be like, oh, I loved you as Yuriko and Smile Down the Runway. She was so sweet. She was such a nice mom. Or, wow, your mom was such a jerk in Fruits Basket. Like, wow. So I kind of enjoy the challenge that comes from playing the same types of characters pretty frequently.
Yeah, and one of the mothers that I wanted to bring up was the mother on Attack on Titan, Gabby. Now, this is the final season for Attack on Titan, and Gabby, she's a very major character in the show. Like, how was it being able to work on the final season of Attack on Titan?
So I'm a fan of the show outside of voice. I'm just like, So when I got the booking email, you don't know what you're recording. You just know what show you're going to record for. And so I saw in my email from my agent, Attack on Titan. I was like, like, I totally fangirled and was like, oh my God, it's oh my goodness, because I knew it was the final season, so there's only so many opportunities to get in on a franchise that I love so much. So that was super, super exciting.
Must be pretty fun.
Yeah, Attack on Titan is just one of those series. I know the manga just ended recently, but it's one of those series where you can kind of compare it to The Walking Dead, where it's like they have so many characters on the show. It's like you never know who's going to die. Like there's a bunch of people who betray each other and whatnot. And the story is just really interesting. And if anybody who's listening and watching, if you've never watched Attack on Titan, watch it because it's really good.
A lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, and thankfully, because see, I started watching the anime when season 3 was out, but I know back when it initially came out, season 1 came out, and I believe season 2 came out 4 years later.
Yeah, it was 4 years later.
So it was a while.
Yeah. So
it was a delay in there.
Yeah, so it's cool that if you haven't watched a certain anime or something, you can just watch it all down and not have to wait like how we have to wait. You know what I'm saying?
I enjoy waiting though.
Not 4 years though.
No. Well, again, that's Japanese animation for you, dude. I mean, it wasn't like it went gangbusters there. So, they probably just thought it was one and done, like the studio, and then it got hot over here, and they decided to roll with it. But I mean, that happens a lot where you only get 12, 13 episodes and then they move on.
So you think that it was only just going to be that one season and then that was going to be it?
Probably initially.
I don't know, man. I feel like Attack on Titan was such a big deal back in the day.
I feel like it was.
I mean, it's still a big deal. You just said you didn't even start watching until season 3, so you were.
I knew what it was. I knew what it was, though. It's just I had fell out of love with anime, so it's like I wasn't really watching anything, but I knew what Attack on Titan was. I knew what My Hero Academia was. I knew what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was, even though I wasn't a fan yet.
Now, Banks, hang on, big guy.
It's because he was looking at Jensen Ackles and he was enamored with Jensen.
Yeah. So how long were you out of the loop with? How long were you out of the loop with anime?
It was
he looks betrayed or something right now. Like he didn't know this about you.
So when Bleach, after they got to the part where the vampires, I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called either.
The vampires on Bleach.
The Iron Car?
I can't remember. So I want to say like probably 2009, 2010.
Wow.
So yeah.
Till when?
When did Dragon Ball Super come out? 2015?
15.
Yeah. So yeah. Wow. So and Dragon Ball Super was the only anime that I was watching. Like I didn't start watching other stuff until like I was recommended stuff and I checked it out. And luckily, I didn't have to. I could binge it. Like when My Hero Academia came out, I didn't know
that.
Yeah, man. It's it
dark times.
The more you know, dark time.
It is. Hey, it happens, man. It happens. Like sometimes, people, they make fun of you for liking something, and
it affects you.
It eats at you, and it's just like, well, dang, maybe I am too old to still be watching anime and stuff. And it's just like, I just feel like, if you have people in your life that are like that, you need to remove them from your life, because if you love something, you should do what you love. You should watch what you love. Like, it's like, you're never too old to enjoy anime or cartoons, especially when it's like, some of these cartoons are really, really good. Like Invincible, for example, really good cartoon. Bri, I don't know if you watched Invincible. Have you checked that out?
I haven't. I need to.
It's really good, and I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, great plot twist.
Yes,
I'll
really
check
good.
it out.
Yeah.
So, question: when you're not recording, like, do you have time to watch anime? Because there are a lot of voice actors that we have up here who say that they really don't have time to watch anime because they're always recording so much. So, do you have time to watch it? And if you do, what are some of your favorite animes besides Attack on Titan?
I make time.
Nice.
I actually did not start watching anime until after I was a voice actor.
Oh wow.
I was doing stage, I was doing other voice acting, and Danny got into. She's always been a fan. Danny Chambers. She's always been a fan of anime, so I've always known about it through her as my best friend. And then when she started working at Funimation, I was like, I'm gonna support my BFF. I'm gonna watch her shows. So I watched them. I think the first one I watched was Ancient Magus Bride, which she was in, and I was like, oh, I love this. So she gave me a list of like what ones I should start out watching. So Fairy Tail, of course, was the first one after her show that I started watching. So I'm like hooked now. Like I am a fan. I'm a late bloomer, a fan of anime.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's the thing with anime. There's always great stuff to go back and discover.
Yeah.
It's kind of like music, you know.
Yeah, and since I hadn't started watching it until, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I've got so much the world is at my fingertips. But current shows, okay. I love Fire Force, Attack on Titan, Fruits Basket, Black Clover, though that's my comeback to like I'll watch it and then did y'all see that like bug just
I did. I like that though.
Yeah, I did.
Had a firefly thing going on.
After you said
spirit.
It was Michael.
Are you a Fire Force?
I am on Fire Force.
Nice.
I'm looking for the bug now. If it was like a mosquito.
Oh, it's there to your right. No, your left.
No. There it is.
It's right there in front of you.
Oh yeah, I see it.
What is
I see it.
It's like not shown itself this whole time, and now all of a sudden it's in attack mode.
There.
So I'm sorry. I was like squirrel. Like I've
been controlling it from a distance.
And all of this is for good content for YouTube. So thank you very much.
Thanks, random bug.
Yeah, I know. What was I even saying?
Some of your favorites.
Fire Force.
And then Black Clover was one that you come back to.
Yeah, Black Clover. I come and go from that. I'll like binge watch it and then I won't watch it forever. I'll binge watch episodes. I'm trying to think what else. Have you
ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
No, I need to. It's one of those that's like it's such a commitment. It's kind of like One Piece. I haven't started One Piece either because it's like where do I start?
Oh for 2.
Oh
for 2.
I know what you was doing.
What do you mean? I was asking her if she had seen it.
D, I will say D was trying to get the setup. And
yes, I was.
It didn't work out in his favor.
I love One Piece. I've been watching it. Nope, no good.
Yeah, no ongoing thing up here. It's like I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They love One Piece, and
it's a competition.
It's a competition.
They're both on my list. It's the like I said, since I didn't get introduced to it until so much later in life, it's like there's so much that I haven't watched. Oh, this bug. Okay.
You know what I suggest with both of them, and I'm not sure how many volumes JoJo is, but with One Piece, what I usually recommend is that you read it. It's like because I treat it like I've been reading it since 10th grade, and it was almost like my newspaper. I would pick up a volume here, read when I can, and and just keep it going, and keep it moving. Yeah, it's easier that way. Keep it moving.
That's what D does.
Fight giant puppy dogs.
And bugs.
And bugs too.
I'm so distracted. I'm sorry.
There's another one.
I said this is probably the first nature episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin.
He said nature.
Dogs. We got.
Look, I don't know how it got in here. It's a cave. You have to like move the blanket to even get in.
That's how it
he really wanted.
It's just been sitting there in the corner like this. I'm waiting for my moment to make
every Pixar movie, right?
Every Pixar movie.
Yeah, they got to follow somebody.
Speaking of Pixar movies, I just watched Coco for the first time.
Only took him 5-6 years like it did with Attack on Titan. So,
Hey, didn't we just say that it's okay to be a late bloomer to stuff?
Yeah,
it's okay for her to be a late bloomer.
Oh, but it's not okay for me.
No, you got a whole list.
Yeah, I have the list.
Cap
from Cap. Yeah, like Cap and Captain America.
He was in the ice. He woke up. Here's a list of anime to check out.
But yeah, Brie, I wanted to mention piggyback off of some of the animes that you watch. A lot of those animes, especially like Fruits Baskets, that was one that you first watched when before you got into voice acting, and then you had the opportunity to be on Fruits Basket.
Yes.
So I always feel that it's an amazing story when you start watching something and it's just like you become a fan of it. And then it's just like, oh snap, like I'm actually on an anime that I really enjoy. So like, how is that when it comes? Oh, go ahead.
I was just so excited. Fruits Basket. It's just such a good story. If you love slice of life anime, like it's so good. So to get to be on it was so meaningful because the show itself is so encouraging and has so many positive messages, even though a lot of the characters, like especially the relationship between characters and their parents, there's a lot of jerk parents, the one I voice including, she's the worst. But the lessons and the messages that are communicated to people through the experiences that the characters are having, it's just to actually get to be a part of it was so special. And to get to be, I call it my little basket of anime children. That Caitlin Glass, I get to add her to my basket of anime children because she voiced Machi, and then I was Machi's mom. So
now I haven't seen the revised Fruit Basket. I've only seen the original.
Oh, you need to.
But I hear nothing but really good things about. Because I really enjoy this kind of animes too, like Orin High School Host Club, Fruit Basket.
I've heard of that one.
Your Lie in April, Silent Voice. I just recently saw Only Yesterday, like a year or two ago. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. Oh man, but it's an incredible movie. You should definitely check out Only Yesterday if you like that kind of stuff. But yeah. Those slice of life animes, it's cool because like when you think of anime, you really do think of like the shonen type stuff where there's fighting and there's battles and stuff. But there's so much anime that's just like TV show type stuff. There's really there just happen to be animes and that are really, really, really good and got great messages like you were talking about. So
I feel like that's one of the cool things about anime is that there's something out there for everyone. There's anime, like if you want to watch action, a mystery, a horror anime, there's so many options. And I love the fact that we live in a world now where everything is digital. So it's like, if there's something that you want to watch, you can watch it. You can watch a whole series. It's not like how it was when we were growing up, where it's like, if you wanted
you got what you got.
You got what you got. You either had Toonami or you had Sci-Fi or you had HBO or Stars, and even with that, you couldn't select what you wanted to watch. It's just like, oh, this anime is on, let me watch it, and then you either gonna like it or you weren't gonna like it. So it's cool that
that's typically how things go when you do stuff, Banks. You either like it or you don't.
Well, not all the time. I mean, I like everything.
Oh, okay, I know.
Everything that he actually watches.
But no, I wanted to touch on, because you have done some video game work. You did some voiceover work in Smite. Like, how was that? Like, lending your voice to a video game.
Oh, so cool. So Smite was my first professional booking after
oh, nice.
I did what I did at the studio I worked at, but then like once I got an agent, but I auditioned, it was like, I can't remember the exact number, but I did over 200 auditions before I ever booked my first thing.
Wow.
And Smite, it was Crystal Gaze Medusa. That was the first one that I ever booked. So that was so exciting. I remember I walked into Okratron, which is where I recorded it. And I wasn't an anime fan yet at this point. And Chris Sabat was there, and I was just talking to him, and I had no idea who he was. Because he just happened to be there. I knew he owned the studio, but I didn't know that he was
how big he was.
A big deal. So that was really cool. And then a couple years later, I did Ragnarok Hera for Smite, and then most recently, it hasn't come out yet, but it has been announced, is Sea Nymph Soul.
Nice.
So excited about that. I've always wanted to be a mermaid, so I got to be a mermaid.
I saw that.
Here where dreams come true.
Yes.
And all that stuff.
You know what though? I bet that was refreshing for Christopher Sabat though, to have somebody come in that didn't even know who he was. You know what I mean?
Probably
versus somebody just being like, "You're Christopher Sabat." Not saying that a lot of people geek out. You know, they probably do remain professional, but it's like you talk to him like a regular dude, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And like, I'm sure he was like, "Well, this was nice." And just to actually have a regular conversation with somebody and not have to talk about myself.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure.
So, Trav, to piggyback off of what you had just said,
who, me?
Yeah, what you just said when you were talking about. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I wanted to bring up how, because you didn't know who Christopher Sabat was, and like how Trav was saying, sometimes it's like you might be a fan. Like if I was to go to Okatron, I know who Christopher Sabat is. It's like I would mark out because it's just like that's All Might, that's Vegeta. I know who it is. Has there been any moments in your career where it's just like you met somebody? Because I know you said Fruit Baskets was one of your, first introduction to anime. Like, did you have any mark out moments in your career so far?
For me, okay, I didn't talk about this earlier. I just kind of skipped over it. I actually worked as a talent agent for a big agency in Texas. I was the film and TV agent for several years. So talking with actors and some pretty big name actors on a regular basis, just as their agent, was like a normal thing. And you realize they're just people who are people.
Yep.
So to me, I never have like had the geek out moment, like, oh my gosh, you're blah, blah, blah. Just because I had to work with people in a different professional context that were, quote, famous. So I've always had my head in a little bit different space from maybe other people who encounter some pretty big names in the voice acting industry. So yeah, but it's cool to be on projects with these people. So if I'm playing like Caitlin Glass being my daughter, like that's so exciting. Things like that. It's really fun to feel like, knowing that I'm newer to the industry, relatively speaking, compared to those who've been veterans. So to get to share the screen with some of them that now, as an anime fan, I know who they are. It's like, wow, that is so awesome that I had this opportunity to share a screen or interact with them as a character. So yeah. Did that answer your question, or did I go off on a rabbit?
No, it did. It did. I mean, it's all in the same bubble, if that makes any sense.
That bubble.
I want to piggyback off of Banks's question, and I wanted to know: was there a difference in getting a role for video games versus animes, as far as like the time it took to nail it, or like as far as auditioning?
Oh, you mean like?
Are they about the same?
For Funimation and anime, you actually rarely audition. The directors
they just book you based on your voice template.
Sometimes they'll do auditions. There's not a lot of time, especially with the simuldub process, to hold formal auditions. So sometimes they might send out some auditions to people to do at home. It's this bug. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it this time.
I saw it.
I try to ignore it. So they get to know you through going into the studio, doing wallet, doing bits, doing smaller pieces, doing or smaller characters, doing bigger characters, and then they just have to, based on their vision as the director and based on what the original voice was for the Japanese version, they cast accordingly. I very few times have I actually auditioned for a role.
Got it.
But whereas for video games, gosh, thousands of people are submitting for any given role, because usually it's national searches. So usually they're casting in LA, New York, Texas, wherever. So when you do land a video game role, that's like, oh my gosh, that's like a huge ordeal, because you were in the mix with lots and lots and lots of other people. Whereas in anime, Funimation has their roster of actors that they pull from, but it's still, I mean, I don't want to discredit getting booked on, but that's a huge ordeal. I'm talking about as far as like the audition process versus booking.
Yes, correct. Okay, I was just wondering, and thank you. Yeah, Trav.
Well, then let me ask, because it seemed like you your whole life doing this thing in theater and working your way up to being some form of a talent agent and stuff like that. What made you, I know you had like where you filled in, and did some voice acting for where you were working, but it's like, what made you leave something that you had established yourself in so concrete already to kind of like restart the struggle again in something else?
I enjoyed it, for one. So there's always the fact that of pursuing something that you enjoy. I also like the challenge. It is very different to have to be able to communicate with just your voice. You no longer can use your body language to express your character and their feelings. So it's just your voice. And I found that so interesting and fascinating. And it's harder to do than what you think at first. Like, oh man, when I listened to my early auditions, I'm like, no wonder I didn't book anything. That was terrible.
So I wanted to ask you, because when I was getting pictures ready for the slideshow, I had saw that you already mentioned before, like the theater projects that you worked on. Like, what were some of your favorite theater projects, and what are some of your favorite moments from doing that?
So for musical, I got to play Morticia in the Addams Family musical.
I saw that, yeah.
That was so fun. That was, I was born to be Morticia, so that was great. 39 Steps was really interesting because I got to play 3 different characters in the same show. I played all 3 of the female characters. And it's a really interesting, fast-moving story to where you're changing characters and hitting my microphone. Changing characters, changing
I thought the bug came back.
It's somewhere around here. It's waiting to scare me.
To get you.
Yeah. My favorite dramatic role. I really liked playing Henrietta Leavitt in Silent Sky. If you've never seen that show, she was big in the sun. She discovered how to measure the distance between stars.
Wow.
So there's not a lot about her because she was a scientist in a time when women weren't in the sciences. That is a beautiful, beautiful play. If you ever get a chance to see it, do so. It's awesome. I also really liked, I did a thriller, Wait Until Dark. There's the Audrey Hepburn movie of it. It's a lot of fun. So you should check out the movie if you like those old movies. So that was fun because she's blind. So that was a challenge to portray a blind person on stage.
Yeah. Now, Brianna, I want to ask a question. Now, with your stage background and stuff, did you feel like it prepared you for voice acting in any way?
Definitely, because I already understood the fundamentals of character development. I think it's easier for somebody who has any sort of acting background to transition to doing voiceover because you have that base understanding of character development. The things I had to adapt to, of course, I remember one of my earliest classes that I took was with Kyle Phillips. And I got in the booth, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do. I think we were dubbing a scene from Fairy Tale. It was just like it was just for the class, so we were doing
right.
And I remember I did, the beep, beep, beep. And I go and I did my first ever take. And Kyle, he hits the button and comes on. He goes, Brianna, there's no backstage in the booth. Because I was just like, blah, over projecting because that's what you do in theater. And I was like, I'll never work again. So having to learn that, I'm still, a lot of actors are, but because of my theater background, I'm very physical in the booth.
It's kind of second nature.
As you saw, I hit the mic. I get into it a lot with my body and my hands and my movement. So I do have to try to be, spatially aware. But I do fail sometimes when I hit the mic.
Well, I think whatever helps you, right? Because every time they show those Disney behind the scenes where Robin Williams doing the genie. They had a Soul one just recently with Jamie Foxx and stuff. All of them, they're very animated when they're doing stuff. So it's like whatever helps you portray, even if they don't see it, it's helping you portray it through your voice, in some ways. So I mean, and it makes for good video content. I love
it does. I
that kind of stuff.
I feel like sometimes when we're talking, it's just like you was just doing it, Trav. It's like you were talking and you were moving your hands. I don't know. It's something about moving your hands or
it's just hand gestures. They say some people talk through their hands. That's just what some people do it, especially when you're explaining something. It's just second nature.
Hey, Ninja's been doing it for how many years, bro?
You see what they do on Naruto?
They hit you with that jutsu.
So, Brianna, I wanted to ask you to go back to video games. What were some of your favorite video games that you enjoyed playing growing up? And are there any current video games that you enjoy playing?
Okay. I have made it this far and never had to admit this publicly.
Tetris.
Oh, man.
It must be Tetris.
I don't play video games.
I could have seen that coming, actually. That was my second guess.
You just never know.
We had
You got a 2-part at Banks.
What's the one that was popular like when the Wii first came out and you could
bowling?
do Mario Kart. There was bowling, there was Mario Kart.
Oh, Mario Party?
No, was it Wii Sports?
That's what I was
Wii Sports was that too. Yeah.
That one.
Tennis.
So my only video game time was like when those came out and they were so popular. I played those games.
No, that's fine.
No, I haven't.
No, it's cool. Like we said in this episode already, it's okay to be a late bloomer. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's okay just not to get into it at all.
Yeah, if it's not for you, it's not your cup of tea. You know?
What I do for my like downtime is reading. I really enjoy reading.
Yeah.
So that might be why I've never ended up doing video games because rather than because that's usually what you do when you want to sit, have some new time.
Yep.
And reading is what I pick.
Well, up. I know you said you read a lot of fantasy. What are you reading?
So Juliette Marillier is my favorite fantasy author. She's got so many books that she has written through the years. She is one of my favorite. My like guilty pleasure as an adult is actually reading YA, like the YA novels. Oh my goodness. Harley Merlin. I love that. That series. It's just easy read, easy fun. I've really enjoyed that.
Add one piece of that, I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay. I will.
All you want.
Add JoJo's Bizarre Adventure while you're at it.
Okay,
I gotta do all that. Might be a little too much.
Yeah, it might be. That might take you over the top.
See, and it's kind of funny to me because, like, if you looked at my bookshelf, you'd think I'm a 13-year-old girl. Because, like, that's pretty much what I'm really into reading, like House of Night series.
Yeah.
Howl. Like, I don't know. I like young adult fantasy stuff like Pendragon. You know, weird stuff like that. So, then I'm in Harry Potter,
yes,
of course.
Harry Potter. I've read Harry Potter.
But then also too, I'm a real big fan of.
It's just funny because you said Harry Potter and Logan.
Yeah, it's something about Trav's voice, man. I don't know.
You know what? You know what it is? It's because his homie in the first book. The 3-headed dog, bro. They did him dirty.
Oh yeah, they did.
And he's like, I don't mess with that series. That was my homie right there.
That's right.
But no, I'm also really into like Dean Koontz. I don't know if you've ever read. I don't know if you're into horror, but Dean Koontz is awesome. He's kind of like a lesser known Stephen King.
Okay.
Thanks, Trav.
And he has a really good Frankenstein series where like the monster never died. And he's living among us, and he's immortal, and it shows like his plot to take over the world. It's a 5-book series, really good.
Okay.
But,
I love series when there's like multiple books. Like if I'm gonna come to this universe, I want multiple books.
And that's why I love reading the Star Wars books because there's so much background Star Wars lore in the books.
So much.
Yeah, and then keeping it on Star Wars. I saw that you were a huge Star Wars fan.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Look at that.
I grew up watching Star Wars. It's
nice.
Makes my heart happy. And it's funny because as a kid, Mark Hamill was an idol to me because he was Luke Skywalker. And now, as a professional adult working as a voice actor, he's an idol because he's an amazing voice actor.
Amazing. And that's crazy, right? Because movie-wise, it's Star Wars, and that's pretty much it for him. He's got some minor roles. That's it. But he is an iconic voice actor.
Yep.
Iconic voice actor.
Very. Yep. Very. He did Chucky.
Hold on. Could we talk about Star Wars for a second?
No, that's what I was about to.
Let's do
Star Wars for right now. I was about to ask, which trilogy is your favorite?
Oh, the original.
Okay. Just because there's some people out there where it's just like the prequels are my favorite trilogy.
It's interesting because the original has my heart because that is what introduced me to the universe and made me love it.
Yep.
If I go back and try and watch it like objectively, like if I was watching this for the first time, what would I think about it? And like the story really has it doesn't have great pacing. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's so nostalgic to me. It will always be my favorite just because of that reason. I've got lots of mixed feels on the newest trilogy.
Let's talk about it.
I really liked the first one, The Force Awakens.
It was amazing, dude. When I walked out of Force Awakens,
good.
Banks, did you go with me?
No, we didn't know each other.
Oh, we didn't go together.
Yeah, we didn't know.
We didn't know each other. Oh, okay. Nah. Well, I went with a huge group. Right, tickets went on sale on Monday Night Football during the Eagles game. You know, Fandango got shut down. There were so many people trying to buy tickets, so you couldn't even get tickets on the site. And I went with like 8-10 people. We bought the whole row, went out, and The Force Awakens is
it was good,
incredible,
really
incredible,
good.
Yeah.
And then from there,
hey, was that the X-wing, Trav?
If
it was something.
If they could have just kept going with what they had created, the feeling that they had made in Force Awakens was so good. And then the second one was just a hot mess. Hot mess.
Yeah, hot hummus. And I love hummus, but I agree. Like, there was just so much stuff in that movie that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And like when Leia was just floating in space, I was just like, well, when did she learn how to use the Force? Like, it's like they could have easily explained that in episode 7 if they wanted to, but it's just like it just came out of nowhere. And
yeah,
I mean, there were a few things in episode 8 that were okay, but
it's not all bad.
Yeah, it's not all bad, but it was just some stuff that was just like, well, why would they do that? Like
because you have too many people that think Star Wars should be this, and you got all these people coming in directing the movie and thinking that Luke should act this way and be this way, and these people should be this way. This is what Star Wars is. And it's just, by the time you get to the third one and they throw some random Palpatine story together.
Oh, God.
You know, of course it's going to fail.
Now, The Mandalorian, though, is what we wanted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what the newest trilogy should have been. It's like that feels like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Whereas the new movies didn't feel like Star Wars to me, at least especially the latter two. But yeah, The Mandalorian is so good.
The Mandalorian.
Now, what did you think of Rogue One?
It grew on me. You know, when I first watched it, I was like, man, I don't really like it. And now, maybe it's because the last two were so bad that it made like the scale go up for Rogue One.
Yeah, I loved Rogue One right from the get-go. See, as a kid, I loved the Jedi stuff. As I've gotten older, I honestly could care less about the Jedi stuff. I care about the story of the rebels and you got this empire coming in, this dictatorship, and they're holding them down and they're trying to rebel. And then you got the story of, you know, both sides are evil, you know, in their own way. And you got people selling weapons to both, and there's all this stuff. I loved Rogue One.
Yeah, I like it more now than I did. Now, have y'all watched the Bad Batch that's come out?
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I have not seen the first episode.
Incredible.
Nice.
But of course, Dave Filoni's doing it, so I knew it was gonna be good.
Yeah, so, and we have to just say, D. Bradley Baker, you have a show,
yes, incredible,
with one person that's all of the leads, and
incredible.
You never get lost or confused on who's talking. He's
honestly, if you didn't tell, if that wasn't public knowledge, you wouldn't think twice. That this is all one dude. Crazy.
So, Brianna, how did you feel about Solo?
I hated it.
It's okay.
I thought it was
hate
okay.
it.
I think one of my favorites was probably Rogue One, just because it was like
absolutely.
It was like a separate little mission. It was something fresh, you know. It was a fresh take.
Yeah, and they got a show coming out.
Oh, nice.
Andor's coming out. It's a prequel to Rogue One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
It's gonna be real good.
I think for Solo, I would have liked it better if they would have made him younger. But he is so close in age to what Harrison Ford was.
Yeah, what you already get.
To where it's too hard to compare them because he's so, I mean, he's pretty good. I wish they would have made him a younger version than what he was in Solo.
I think it's only 6 years before the first movie.
Something like that.
When they do Solo. So it's like, well,
I mean,
great casting. Great casting and stuff, but
I thought it was better than episode 8. And
absolutely.
I feel like a lot of people didn't want to, go see that movie because of the bad taste that episode 8 had left everybody with.
And it's hard too for him because he, oh my gosh, what's the actor who plays him?
I don't know his name.
I can't remember.
Just keep on talking.
I love him, and that is so hard to portray someone who is such an iconic character. and you're so close in age to him to where like people are like legit comparing you to him. Whereas if the age gap was further, then I think people wouldn't have been as harsh on judging his portrayal of him. But yeah, I watched it in theaters, and then I hadn't watched it again until recently, and I did like it better when I watched it this next time.
His name is Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I know. I've seen him in a show. I don't know if it's on HBO.
My first time I ever saw him was in Beautiful Creatures. I love that.
I've never seen that.
It's really
the
good.
movie.
Yeah,
the movie. Yeah, I know what it is. Trav, you might actually like that. It's kind of trippy. It's like a sci-fi-ish kind of movie.
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, I like that. There's only a couple things on yours.
I love some witches.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
that's what witches. Thank you.
He was in the episode of Supernatural on the first, the Wendigo episode.
Was he a ranger? Was he one of the people in the woods?
I don't know, but now I want to go back and watch it because he was.
I think he was one of the people who got taken out while they were camping.
Oh, you letting in more bugs?
There's two behind you.
I'm like, there's no way to like sneaky try to do this on camera. Like,
no,
get out!
No, it's
way demon.
It's fine. One more Star Wars question, and we can move along. Did you ever watch the Star Wars Christmas special?
Come on, babe.
No, but it's on. They just put.
Don't waste your time.
Don't
waste your time.
I heard
you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
Yeah, just to say you did. I agree with Trav on this one.
You have to watch it. It's like when you drive by an accident on the interstate. It's like
you gotta watch.
You don't hope that anybody's hurt or anything, but you got to see what's going on.
Hey, with that mess,
that's how it
might.
is. It is horrible.
It's like it felt like because it was a variety show and
it's 2 hours.
It's
on
2 hours, and it came off more of this is the Star Wars name. We're going to take the name. We're going to take the characters, and we're just going to do our own thing with it. And I want to say like the first 30 minutes of the movie is just Chewbacca's family talking.
Yeah, they're talking in Wookiee with no subtitles.
No subtitles.
Now, I wanted to ask, since we're actually on this topic, this terrible topic, who directed it or who made it?
Michael.
Well, it makes sense now. It's sabotage.
George Lucas definitely had involvement in it. So
I don't think he had anything to do with it.
There's no way that he would sign. He owns it. There's no way he would sign.
But did he
There's no way he would own Star Wars and let somebody do it without him having input in it.
No, I think he did.
I can't imagine. I
can right now, Trav, based on how bad that is.
I can't imagine.
Because he's probably like, yeah, I'm leaving. Here, do what you want.
I'll say this one thing about Star Wars real quick before we move on, though.
Go ahead.
I don't care how bad the last trilogy is or whatever. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it, dude. And kids should be able to come in and watch the new trilogy and like it without some of us older fans coming in here and being like, that's garbage and all this stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I would never say something.
I'm not shattering dreams here.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I'm not a fan of it neither, but if you enjoy it, but the Christmas special,
I'm not letting my kids watch that, so.
Yeah, that thing was bad, man. Like, I mean, and of course, I mean, like, it's crazy because on the Christmas special, that's where Boba Fett was introduced. Was on the Christmas
introduced.
special.
Was on.
I'm glad he got redeemed.
But technically, before that, he was introduced as a toy, and people were like, "Dude, what is this?
Yeah, who's this guy?"
Yeah, he was just a badass toy. And then that's their first introduction to Boba Fett. Is that horrible Christmas special? Thank God I wasn't alive back then.
But I mean, but that's the crazy thing too. Is like it never was released anywhere. It's on YouTube.
It's just on television.
It's on YouTube because somebody actually recorded it and put it up there. But yeah,
imagine that
you can't find it anywhere, and with good reason. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's gonna burn that. Somebody burned it.
So, sure. I know we're kind of getting into like the end of this, but I gotta bring up this subject before we move on. Being somebody that's super into musicals myself and in the theater, what are you watching now? Because like I'm sure you grew up in it, so I'm sure like Singing in the Rain, West Side Story, Sound of Music, the original Star is Born, like those classics, right? Mimi in St. Louis. Like I'm sure you're a fan of those, but what is coming out now that you're like, yeah, I really love these musicals?
I don't know. Man, I'd really have to think about it. Like, you're meaning like newer musicals that are coming out?
I guess like within the last 10 years or so. Like for me personally, like The Greatest Showman was incredible. Soundtrack blew my mind.
Yeah.
Me and the girls have seen it like 20 times. It makes me cry every time I see
own the
it.
soundtracks, bro.
I still need to
Dude,
watch
the soundtrack, it's
so good.
So good.
I love Wicked. Did that come out more than 10 years ago?
Probably like 20, but still.
Has it really been that long?
I've never seen Wicked because when it comes around,
but I heard it's good.
Those tickets are very expensive
because it's so good. Because it's been around
it's
that
so
long,
good,
and people are still wanting to see it.
That's why I never got to see Hamilton, and I was so glad Disney did a thing because Hamilton was incredible. But no way I could afford those tickets. Hamilton. I ain't got Hamilton money.
Money.
It's the same thing whenever Rent comes around here in the area. Like the tickets are always expensive.
Yeah.
Well, now we're getting the new In the Heights movie. I don't know if you saw
I haven't.
The trailer for that, but you've seen the original, right? In the Heights.
Now for theater that you can watch, have you watched the Goes Wrong show?
The Goes Wrong show.
You have to watch it if you're a theater person. So it's based on the show that goes wrong, or the play that goes wrong, which is it's a British show, and they were traveling doing the show in the States, of course, before the Rona hit. It's so good. You have to look it up. They have a Christmas special called A Christmas Carol Goes Wrong. You can find I think that one you can find online. There's a Peter Pan Goes Wrong. Peter Pan Goes Wrong was the first one that kind of spurred all this on. But it's like the concept is it's this amateur acting group that think they're amazing that take like literally the BBC is supposedly about to record a live version of A Christmas Carol, and they break in, or first it was Peter Pan, but it's the same trope, or Christmas Carol. They break in and they take over the show, and you've got sets falling down. You've got the one character who's always reading his lines on his hands.
Jesus.
It's so funny. And then they have a whole series that's spun off of that called The Goes Wrong Show. That's a bunch of short plays that they do of things going wrong. And if you've done theater, then you'll just laugh and laugh.
Yeah, I just Googled it, so I got it up on my list so I can add it.
Yep. Okay.
When you when you say that, I don't know why, but I just started thinking about The Room. The
Room?
Because
have you seen The Room? Or you've heard of The Room, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't just type in The Room on YouTube.
You have to watch it.
You don't need to watch the entire thing. Do. No, just look at all the important moments from The Room. and it'll make you laugh. I want to say it's about like a 5-minute video.
Okay.
What was the one we did for Christmas? The musical? What was the name? That would be one she should do. From the one that came out on Netflix, Trav, that we did the review.
Oh, Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, I liked that one. We watched that.
Was incredible.
That was fun.
That was so good.
Very fun.
The music was great.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That was fun, man. It's a fun watch and a good story.
Yeah, and you can recommend it for your kids.
Hey, I love A Christmas Carol. It's my favorite Christmas thing of all time. I love Charles Dickens, and Charles Dickens is very important to British culture. Like, British people look at Charles Dickens as like one of their gods. He's the Shakespeare of Britain over there. You know, Charles Dickens. They love Charles Dickens over there.
Hey, Trav, I don't know,
Drop
man.
some knowledge on
you kept on saying that name a lot, man. You need to chill out, bro.
Nah, Charles Dickens, bro. I'm just saying Charles Dickens is an incredible screenplay writer.
Okay. All right.
You know,
okay, I'll give you that. So I got 2 more questions, and then I guess we can wrap this thing up. I don't know if you guys have any more questions.
We'll wait for you. Yours are longer than ours.
Thank you, kind sir. And no, they're not going to be that long. Right. But I wanted to ask you, what are some animes that are currently out right now that you would love to lend your voice to?
Oh,
good question.
I gotta think. What ones are out right now? I'm trying to think of ones that are out and ones that aren't currently being cast because I can't talk about those. Wait,
right. Here he goes, Trav. Here he goes again.
I'm trying to pull up the list so I can say which ones I would love to be in. So ones that are currently going, not ones that
some that are currently got like My Hero Academia.
Yeah, okay. Well, of course, what voice actor doesn't want to be in My Hero? I'd love to be in My Hero. Black Clover. I still have never been in Black Clover. I think I was like I did like a bit, like a character that wasn't a name one time in the show, but I've never been the named character. I'd love to be in Black Clover since I've stuck with it and watched through it all the times. Oh, Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone. Yeah. There's a spinoff coming to that too, so you might get double the chance.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Hey, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 is coming out next year, and it's gonna be very female heavy. So. I'm just putting it out there.
Cross the fingers, put it forth into the universe.
Hey, I never want to take away from somebody's payday, so you know.
You're right, Trav.
I'm all for the JoJo and you getting it. You know, I'll support JoJo.
I'll support it if she gets it.
Hey, we know people. We'll make a couple of phone calls. Trav's good friends with Dwayne Johnson, so you know everybody loves The Rock. And if The Rock just has to snap his fingers like Thanos and that'll put you in there.
Everything will be all right.
Yeah, he liked my Instagram comment, so I'm kind of a big deal around here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
D, you can go ahead and ask your question, and I'll round it out with mine.
Ooh, I like that. He's trying to counter. Right now. We're playing Jenga. Now, Miss Brianna, growing up, was there ever a horror movie or anything of that nature that really creeped you out?
Gremlins. I was scared of the dark for years.
Hell yeah.
That's wild.
Just don't feed them after 12, right?
Oh, man. Gremlins scared me something good. And even Jurassic Park. That's not even a horror movie. I was pretty...
It is.
Very controversial.
I had nightmares.
Some people do, some people don't.
So the movie that scared me, like, as an adult, like, was I Am Legend. I didn't want to go out to the barn at night to feed my horses because I was scared.
Ooh,
it was.
They had some pretty good jump scares in that movie.
Yeah, they did.
The wild thing is how scary it could have been. They just chose not to make it as scary as it should have been. You know, book wise.
Yeah,
the book is very scary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good point, Trav.
Yeah, I read something.
That's great picks.
Spoiler alert: how they changed it up was because in the book, the reason why
you talking about spoiler alert. The book been out 20 years.
It's old. Like,
20 years old.
In the book, the reason why it's called I Am Legend is because the vampires in the movie, they are actually intelligent, and they end up killing. I can't remember if his name is Robert Neville in the books or if that was just made for the movie with Will Smith in it. But
they changed his name in the movie.
They changed his name, so pretty much the reason why he becomes a legend is because they end up killing him, and it's like all of the vampires, they fear him. So that way it's a way to protect people, to protect the vampires from, I think, going up to the real world or something like that, because there are people like him out there that can kill him. So like Trav said, I mean, it would have been interesting if they would have went that route, but of course it was Will Smith, and I mean, of course, you didn't get a happy ending to the movie, but on the DVD, they did have the alternate ending. Where he did.
Spoiler alert, right? There's an alternate ending.
Spoiler alert. If people didn't know, but
this movie came out before Blu-ray was even a conception. So.
Hey, what was the other one? HD DVD.
That came out a little bit after Blu-ray. That was Microsoft trying to like compete, but there's no competition, bro. I feel bad for people that bought HD movies. Yeah. I feel like they should have got Microsoft should have done something where you could trade it in and get the Blu-ray version of your HD or something.
Huh? Yeah, because I remember for the Xbox 360, there was like a HD DVD adapter.
Drive.
Drive.
No, the drive was in there, yeah.
No, it didn't.
It came with standard. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, you had to buy the drive separately in order to watch the HD DVDs on your Xbox 360. And then when it got canceled, I mean, not canceled, but when it got dropped, it's just
discontinued.
Discontinued. Thank you.
Discontinued.
Yeah. I mean, like people were stuck with this stuff. And there's also, I mean, you think about it, there are people out there that don't even know what HD DVDs are. You know what I'm saying?
Rightfully so.
But my final question for you is, what is some advice that you would give to any aspiring voice actors that want to get into the industry?
It's a tough industry to get into. You will face more failure than success. And because of that, you have to remember that your self-worth is not based in how well you are or are not doing as a voice actor. Because if you live and die by your auditions and your bookings, then you're going to be miserable. Mm-hmm. So do it because you love it, but have that degree of separation where the love does not translate to your love of yourself. You got to keep it separate or you'll be very sad all the time. So find your worth and your value in something else.
Nice.
I like that.
Nice. I love that.
I like
that advice.
And that's where the rainbow
is over the video. Here, Miss Brianna, take that with you. All right? And only use it when you need it.
Okay. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. For our last guest, he got like 6. He said he used them and he wasn't sparing with them, so I gave him like 6 for the road.
Hey, and just in case that bug is still there, put that thumbs up.
Oh yeah, he'll get out of there.
He will show up. He will show up with
squash right there. You got to squash it.
I haven't seen it since I opened the door, so maybe
open the portal.
Oh, he's out there waiting.
And if you notice, Loki has embarked, so that's the reason why Loki took the bug out.
That's right.
So with that being said, thank you again, Miss Brianna Roberts, for joining us up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. You were such an amazing guest. And before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Awesome. Voices by Bri is my handle on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, my website is voicesbybri.com. So come check me out. I post updates on my career and also lots of pictures of my dog. So
nice.
That.
Hopefully that fish tank too.
I did. There's actually one on there right now.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, and like I said, thank you again for joining us. Everybody that's listening and watching, make sure that you add her, you follow her, because she's such an amazing person. And D, let everybody know where they can find you at in social media land.
That's going to be rebellious _D23 at Instagram.com. Miss Brianne, thank you a lot for leveling up and joining us. Trav.
That's right. And since you already are over on the Instagrams, you can follow your boy at ZK Audio. And then you can head on over to the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK. And if they got a bug in the booth and they need a hero, who they gonna call up?
That's right.
You can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. And you can look me up on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you for watching and listening to our brand new episode. And we'll see you next time here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Like I always say, keep that pinky up and stay positive. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.